My name is Catherine McKinnon. I'm the Executive Director of the Mutual Housing Association of Greater Hartford. The Mutual Housing Association of Greater Hartford develops and manages affordable housing in Hartford and the surrounding communities. Although we've developed more than 400 apartments, we go beyond the bricks and mortar by engaging our residents in creating stable neighborhoods, providing financial education, and creating community leaders.
Hi, I'm Liz Taisha Marrero, Resident Initiatives Coordinator for Mutual Housing. I help to run some of the programs here, including our food pantry, our leadership academy, and I help to coordinate community events. Today, we'll be hearing from some of our community partners as well as our residents about their experience with Mutual Housing.
My name's Mary Cockrum. I've been on the board of Mutual Housing for about 3 years. I live in Frog Hollow, which is a neighborhood where Mutual has a lot of properties. One of the things I really like about Mutual is how well the organization maintains its properties, and that we've taken historic properties and done a really nice job of turning them into attractive places to live. I'm looking forward to a new development in the neighborhood where there's a place that's been boarded up for years and years and years, and it'll be great. It'll be really beautiful.
So how would you say Mutual Housing revitalizes neighborhoods and builds success?
I think we build success in addition to having great properties that are well maintained. Mutual Housing builds success and revitalizes neighborhoods by having other programs like the Leadership Academy, where residents learn leadership skills, have a project during the class, and then can take those skills and use them at schools and in the community, where we need, in Frog Hollow, we need more people to be more involved. And so I think that that's really helpful. And then Mutual also has a partnership with Food Share, so we have a food pantry in some of the buildings.
This is Pat Godimer, our resident board member from Park Terrace 1. So Pat, can you tell me a little bit about what attracted you to Mutual Housing?
I was attracted to Mutual Housing looking for an affordable place to live on a bus driver's salary. I found Mutual Housing just by doing a quick web search, and I came across Park Terrace, which is where I live. They're historic landmarks. And then I was afforded the opportunity to go on a tour to see the apartment. And it was just of great size. For me, it's a very big apartment, but it's a very comfortable place. And I really feel like I've been able to make it a home.
So what makes Mutual Housing different from other landlords?
With Mutual Housing, I've been able to get involved in my community. I've been much more social with my neighbors. You don't feel as closed off. You don't feel like you're just dropping off a rent check. The only time that you talk to the landlord is when there's a problem. I've been able to get involved in the community through Mutual Housing, and I enjoy that. Mutual Housing provides affordable housing, but it also provides the ability for residents to get involved in their community as long as they keep an open mind, and to make sure and to feel that they have a home and it's not a temporary place to live. I think it's made me a better person. It's made it easier for me to go out and speak with people. I'm much more comfortable in my own skin.
Kai, why don't you tell us a little bit about where you work and what you do?
So I work at Food Share, which is the food bank for Hartford and Tallinn counties, and I'm an agency services representative there. In the last 12 years, Mutual Housing has received over 170,000 pounds of food from Food Share, as well as more than $5,000 in grant funding to support the food operation, and several $1,000s worth of equipment grant funding. In 2011, Food Share provided Mutual Housing with a $10,000 grant to work towards client self-sufficiency, and that was to fund Mutual Housing's initiative for the Leadership Academy. Mutual housing makes a tremendous difference because they provide their residents with a home, and not just a home, but with resources to support everyday life. Beyond a home, they're providing food to people who need it, budget coaching, educational resources, development in leadership skills, an opportunity to form a community and maintain a community. And that's what FoodShare is all about. This is why FoodShare works with organizations like Mutual Housing, because your vision is the same as ours. It's not just to feed a person or house a person, but to provide supports for their whole life and get them on their feet.
Jasmine Lee Rodriguez is a resident at Webster Street. She's a graduate of the Leadership Academy and is currently attending Goodwin College on the Golden Ticket program. So what attracted you to Mutual Housing?
I was initially attracted to Mutual Housing because from what other residents had told me before, it was just a pleasant place to live. Not only was it beautiful inside and out, it was clean, it was affordable, which was something that I definitely was looking for.
So why did you decide to participate in the Leadership Academy?
I decided to participate in the Leadership Academy because from the time I was born, I was always just someone who wanted to just give back and wanted to change things that I thought were so flawed or just in need of someone to be active and make our community better. So the fact that that opportunity came at me, and again, it was free, I didn't have to pay, and it didn't require a lot of my time, but in such short time that the program ran, I learned so much.
What has changed in your life?
Well, since I graduated from the program, I am now working for the Hartford Board of Ed. I am a family resource aide in a school system in Hartford, and I feel more connected to the children in the school system. I feel more connected to the local community around the school system because it's they're the same people that we serve outside of the school when we do our community events. So it's almost like an extended family, and the fact that I can work with those people every single day, it gives me the reason to wake up every single day. I am passionate about the job that I have now because the Leadership Academy instilled that drive in me that I needed to ultimately get there. And now that I'm there, I still feel, I'm just grateful.
So where would you live if you weren't living at Mutual Housing?
If I didn't live at Mutual Housing, honestly, I can't give you a concrete answer as to where I live. There's not too many places that someone can say they feel safe. So I wouldn't know. I don't feel safe anywhere. I feel safe in my home.
Maria Cruz de Alicia is a resident at Zion Street. She's a volunteer at our food pantry at Park Terrace. So what are some of the services that are unique to Mutual Housing?
Mutual Housing has fulfilled something that I always wanted to do, and it was to work at least with homeless people and people in the neighborhood, helping other people that I couldn't do before. I wanted to, first of all, do something with my life because I no longer work. I'm at home. And it gave me the opportunity to be part of the food pantry, which is something that I enjoy doing because you help other people, and it gives you a lot of satisfaction.
If you or the other residents did not have the food pantry, what do you think they would do?
The first time that I used the Mutual Housing food pantry, I was in direct need of groceries, and it was a blessing for me. It was a blessing. I came home, and it was like the third week. It was a month that I had a lot of problems. And when I went to get those groceries, and I got those groceries that month. It served my family and me for the whole month. And ever since then, when Jennifer called me and you called me to see if I wanted to help, I wanted to, because of the first time that I needed the food pantry, the mutual housing was providing, I was able to use it when I really needed it. And I know there's a lot of families like me that are in direct need of the food pantry. And if that food pantry wasn't there for those families, many of our kids probably would not have a whole meal every day. At least for me, at that time, when I needed it, was there, and I was able to use it, and I will always be grateful to Mutual Housing for providing that service for me and for those families.
Thank you for sharing that.
I had very good experiences with the people that I had dealt with at Mutual Housing. Pat, when I first came to apply for the apartment, she was very helpful. I took a class with her. It showed me how to improve the quality of life with my family by budgeting my because I live of Social Security disability, and so she showed me how to budget. The classes that I took, how to budget the amount of money that I got to pay my bills and to make a priority of paying my rent and my bills. And up to this day, I use what I learned in that class. I was lucky to find a good place to live for me and my grandkids. And, I'm enjoying living there.
Hi, I'm Mary Kay Garrow, and I am the Senior Program Officer for the Hartford LISC program. Mutual housing is a good investment, I think, from a number of different aspects. There's sort of the immediate aspect that they provide decent, safe, and affordable housing for residents and for those that live in their homes. And so that's important to the families in terms of family stability. But in terms of an investment, and why I think it's a good investment, is that it's not just the direct impact in terms of the affordable housing, but it's the continued long-term effect that their work has had in the community at large. They have really worked to have strategic impact in neighborhoods. I mean, I could take Frog Hollow, for example, where there's a significant number of property that is owned and managed by Mutual Housing. And if you look over the years at the work that Mutual has done in Frog Hollow, you can see that it has had an impact in terms of stabilizing that community. It's brought, not just for the residents of the homes that are owned and operated by Mutual Housing, but for the entire community. And there's also positive, I think, investment in terms that there's a return to the community at large, to the city, through tax dollars. Whenever Mutual does a development, they hire folks who live in Hartford, so they're part of the building labor force in Hartford, so that's very important. And I think that Mutual takes a long-term view. When they go into a housing development, it's not just for the purpose of doing development and then leaving. They really want to stay in, make sure that their families are successful in doing, and in doing that, they have, I think, some fabulous programs. I mean, from the beginning, they start with a ready-to-rent program, which is a credit readiness program where if a family's not quite ready to go into affordable housing, but they would really very much like to have the security of homes, Mutual will work with them in terms of credit repair and getting them ready to get into housing. So I think that's a very important part of the work that they do that's really sort of sets Mutual apart. And I think that the other thing that we've been very impressed by recently is the work with the Leadership Academy. Again, Mutual's different. It's not just providing housing for folks, it's also looking at that resident as a person and trying to enable that person to do better in their lives. So they do that from, simple things. It might just be financial counseling, or it might be helping them to be a better speaker or how to be a better leader in their community or to take part and to be really active. So I think that sets Mutual Housing really apart from the crowd. So, again, we're just really proud of the work that they do. We are proud to be a partner, and we're really pleased to congratulate them and their board and the staff. There's a fabulous staff at Mutual Housing and 25 years of fabulous work. We look forward to working with them again, repeatedly, in the years to come. So congratulations to all the folks at Mutual.
Over the next 5 years, Mutual Housing will develop more than 100 new affordable homes. We've been fortunate to secure state funding to provide upgrades to our first project in Frog Hollow and renovate another 6 properties. Although these buildings are more than 100 years old, we'll be incorporating green construction, installing solar panels for electricity and high-efficiency heating systems. What are now blighted and troubled properties will be transformed into beautiful community assets. Through our resident engagement and leadership programs, we will support dozens of new community leaders and continue our tradition of revitalizing communities and building success.